Today I want to show you how to make this little satchel, sling bag, bum bag, whatever you want to call it, out of just one piece of leather and without any stitching. Now, quick disclaimer, this project is going to require you to have a proper riveting press. You can do it without one, but it's going to require you to have lots of creative thinking and yeah, it might be a bit more frustrating. It can be done, but I don't necessarily recommend it if you don't have a press. The first thing you'll want to do is grab the PDF template, the link to which you can find in the video description just down below. This can be printed on US letter size paper or A4 size paper. Make sure to print it out at 100% scale and check the size of the print is correct using the guide on the template. You can then very roughly cut out the template, making sure to cut the straight lines out neatly. These need to be straight because you'll be then taping them together to give you your final full template. I've actually been through quite a few different variations of this template, and the template you're seeing on the video now isn't exactly the same as the template you've got, but all the steps remain absolutely unchanged, so just follow this through and you'll be fine. Now it's up to you how you want to proceed when transferring the template onto your leather, but I would strongly recommend you use clear backing tape and just tape the template to the top side of your leather. With the template secure onto your leather, you can now go ahead and just punch out any of your rivet holes. If you don't do this now, or if you don't have your template stuck to the back of your leather, you'll have to mark out all those holes before you go to the punch, and this way, it's just way easier. Of course, do make sure to match your hole size with your rivets. I also strongly recommend that when you can, you punch out any of the small corners. So in this case, you can go ahead and punch out basically all of those small corners, and it's going to make your cutting much simpler. This is also a great moment for you to punch out any holes that you need for your hardware. In my case, I'll be using the lock's closing mechanism that requires me to punch out a 10mm round hole for the installation. Once all your holes are punched, you can start cutting. Make sure your blade is incredibly sharp. If you've just started out in your leatherworking journey, this is a perfect time to grab a fresh blade for your box cutter or hobby knife. Despite having some incredible blades and knives in my shop, the one I gravitate to most is actually this really stupidly affordable small brass knife from AliExpress because it takes 9mm disposable blades, which means that by snapping off the end of that blade, I will always get an incredibly sharp, precise blade to work with, and it really does cut through this leather gorgeously, even though I do tend to gravitate towards other blades for more precise work. Now that the piece is cut, it's time to groove the fold lines. While this isn't mandatory, it helps give the final product a more finished look, while also helping you bend your leather into shape. In fact, if you're using a thick and stiff leather, this part is actually really important. What's also very important at this point is skiving down the parts where the rivets are going to lay on the flaps. If you're using a thin leather, you may not need to do this, but if you're using a thicker leather like I am, this will really help you out when you go ahead and squeeze your leather to shape and then rivet things together. Now you can go ahead and start taking care of any exposed edge. And this means beveling. I always like to start on the inside flesh side of the leather. The last step before we can build this bag is going to be burnishing. I love using Tokanol for this, which is an amazing burnishing agent, but you could go for gum tragicant or simply a dab of water and rub down the edges using a scrap of 100% cotton fabric. Burnishing is the process where you are creating heat and friction by rubbing those edges, and you're basically pushing the leather fibers together like this, and you're helping them solidify with the heat. Anything you might add, like gum, will also help solidify that edge, and it will give you a much more clean looking and precise looking and a much more finished looking edge to your piece, while also just simply protecting your edge against wear and tear. We are now ready for the final build. Starting at the base of the pouch, we want to attach the bottom flap on both sides. Then fold the side flap in, start riveting it to the back of the bag, keeping the flaps on the inside of the bag. You always want to work in symmetry on both sides here, doing one rivet on the left side, one rivet on the right side, then moving up. This way you are building the bag up as you go while retaining as much access as possible to those really tricky corners, and trust me, they are tricky. At this stage you may be wondering just how on earth you're going to manage this, but don't worry, you will get there eventually. That first initial fold is very tough, especially with thicker leather. Just keep at it, you'll manage. When you get to the third rivet up, make sure you fold in the second part of the side flap so both flaps overlap here on the same rivet hole. The top flap should overlap on the top of the bottom flap. Now make sure you grab your buckle or any hardware you're using and slide it on to attach the belt later. And I will not tell you how many times I have forgotten to put hardware on at stages like this and had to pull out or unscrew a rivet or it's chaos. Don't do it. Don't forget to install your hardware when you need to. And this is the moment. So by now you're approaching the end of the build, and once you've got the final rivets in, you can install your closing hardware of choice and you're all set. Well, not actually, as you still need to attach the strap to your piece. I didn't include a method for strap making in this template because I really feel that is a question of personal choice and I'm still trying to find what works best for me. So I just want to show you how I did it in this piece and let you guys decide how you want to finish the strap on your piece. Now, I know I won't need to be making quick adjustments to the strap, and I'm not going to be wearing this in any other way than as a sling bag, so I'm going to make myself a very simple, but still adjustable strap. I first want to cut my strap into two pieces, and then skive down one end of each strap. I do want to fancy this up a bit, so after I've beveled the sides of my straps, I'm going to be adding a crease line. Then I can go ahead and burnish the sides for a better look and feel. I can now slide the skived ends through my buckles, grab a marker and mark off the areas I need to apply the glue to. It's really easy to copy my markings from one half of the strap to the other. A good dab of neoprene cement glue and I can slide the straps into place. These can then get stitched for extra strength and a bit of style. Though you could also decide just to rivet those straps in place, as that would be totally within the keeping of the aesthetics of this piece. I've created myself a quick 3D printed template to mark out the holes along the ends of my straps and punch them out accordingly. I could have done this on paper, but I'm hoping I'll be able to use this template again in the future. With all my holes punched, I can now easily attach the straps together at my preferred distance using basic Chicago screws. Easy and effective. Finally, make sure to oil or wax your leather to protect against the elements, and voila! Your mostly stitchless bag is now complete. I love this style and shape. I find it really blends in some modern style with some old-fashioned lines, and it really does work for me. It's incredibly practical for everyday carry, and best of all, it can be made in just under 2 hours if you're not too finicky about the strap as I was, and just want to go ahead and punch out a really cool pouch. If you want to go ahead and make yourself this very bag, you can download the pattern for this in the description just down there. And of course, do feel free to adapt the pattern to your own suiting. For example, I went with a 4 centimeter wide strap. You could definitely tone that down. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments about this bag, this build, and this video down there in the comments as well. And if you've enjoyed this video, you're going to love this video where I make another bag just like this, except with way more stitching and a zip.